a very good Tuesday morning to you on what is a very autumnal day here in Manchester. It's overcast, actually quite cold today, the first perhaps really cold day we've had. So we've done quite well up to this point, but we're now expecting the weather to roll in as it always does this time of year. What I want to talk about today, as you probably gathered by the title, although the title is very, very short, is something that could be a little bit argumentative, and it's actually not what I want to put out there at all. What I want to do is ask you, the viewers, as I'm trying to do, is be completely open-minded and open to the question and consider it, and then get back in touch with me and let me know. I thought long and hard about how to phrase the title, and I thought the easiest and simplest way to do it was how I phrased it there. So what do I mean by the perception deception? Well, we as watch collectors buy watches for many, many reasons. They range obviously from people who've done their own research and they've decided that they always want a particular watch, and regardless what they see or hear, they will go out and spend their hard-earned money on that particular watch, and that's great. You'll see other people who will go out and buy watches because they have seen certain people on the internet and YouTube in general saying that these are the kind of watches you should own because you are not a proper watch collector until you own one of these, and that's not so great. We also buy watches because they have a particular name on the dial. They also buy watches because they're made of particular metal. We also buy watches because they have a particular movement. And we also buy watches, of course, for the most important thing, quite a lot of the time for all of us, because they fit within our budget, which is the most commonplace of all. So what do I mean by this perception deception? Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about three watches that sit quite nicely in my personal collection. I own all my watches. I love all my watches, and they range from my real crappy Beta, which is a plastic subby replica, if you want to call it that I bought many years ago from the garage, I think it was, and I think it was £6. So I do own watches that go from £6 to £60 to £600 to £6,000. So let's get on the roll here. Now the kind of first one I want to show you is my, there you go, my rotary Chronospeed, which is a lovely pilot's watch. It's got the internal bezel, which you use to calculate all air miles and fuel consumption and that kind of thing. It has a chronograph and so on and so forth. It is a quartz movement watch, but it is, quite rightly, as you will see, more or less a homage stroke rip-off of the world famous Navitimer. Nevertheless, I love it and I wear it very, very often because I think it's a great looking watch. The second watch, which has a lot of haters out there, not so much this particular model, but the brand, is my Invicta Pro Diver two-tone, which obviously is the homage rip-off of the two-tone subby, of course. And the last one, which everybody will know, is my Hulk. And there she is. So, what's the point of me showing you these three? Well, certainly this one and this one look very, very similar indeed. The differential between the two, this one has a Seiko movement, this one has a Rolex in-house movement, this one 316L stainless steel, this one 904L stainless steel, this one aluminium bezel insert, this one ceramic bezel insert. Both have a Cyclops, both have the date, both have a sweeping second hand, so on and so forth. Now, these two are a prime example of what we sold. Now, the question is, and this is where you're going to have to be really open-minded on this one, is this so much better than this? Now, let's get a couple of things out of the way first. We all know, without any argument whatsoever, that this, being a quartz watch, is far, far, far more accurate than this will ever be, considering that this is 100 times more expensive than this. So the first question is, if we want accuracy, why would we ever bother buying something like this? Now, to put that into perspective for you, the watch I'm wearing today, and I may as well do a wristwatch check, is my Bulova Precisionist, which is, if you have a look on the internet, the most accurate watch in the world. Have a look, there it is. I have got a video about this on my channel, so seek it out and have a look. So the question is, if we're buying a watch for accuracy, now, if the job of a watch is to tell the time, we should of course be buying a watch for accuracy. Why wouldn't we? Because we want to know what the time is. So we go out and we spend £10, £20, £30, £40, £50, whatever, to buy a quartz watch. Job done. Simple. But it's not as simple as that, is it? So when people talk about Invicta, and I appreciate it's the American monstrosities that people don't like, because this one, there's not a lot not to like about it apart from the name on the dial. So comparing that to that on face value, why is this, I think it was £80, and why is this £6,000? I have no idea on the face of it. So the perception deception is, are we being deceived as watch buyers into buying things that solely have gained reputation over a long time? And that long time equates to, using a phrase I don't like, but I will use it anyway, horological history. And we buy into that myth, this mythology of the more prestigious watchmakers. So is that what we're buying into? Are we buying into this belief that because a watchmaker has been around far longer, it is far better? So let's say, for instance, if somebody wanted to make a homage, a proper homage to a Rolex subby, let's say, and they made it out of 904L stainless steel, and they replicated the Rolex movement, and they put a ceramic bezel insert in there, and it was perhaps the same colour as the Hulk, or it looked just like the Kermit, or it even just looked like a black dial subby no date, for instance, but it had no name on the dial at all. Would that then mean that the Rolex was still better? Even though the replica, homage, whatever you want to call it, is, in the cold light of day, exactly the same machine. And if it was half the price of the Rolex, is part of the perception deception, the more expensive something is, the better it is? Well, if the better is measured in accuracy, then no, because a quartz watch, which will cost you, you know, a tenth of the price of the Hulk, for instance, is far better because it's more accurate. It will give you a better measurement of time as it passes through the day. So are we as watch buyers being deceived? And, you know, this is where I'm trying to be really open-minded, because I am being, for want of a better phrase, being suckered into this as well, because I've gone out and bought a Hulk. Lots of people on the internet have gone out and bought a Hulk. Many people I know have bought a Hulk, or they've bought another range of the subby, or they've gone out and bought a Patek or a Vacheron or whatever it is. And they've gone out there and bought it because over the years they have been told that this is the route you should take, or these are the best watches, or they've got the best history, or whatever. But if you align one next to another, and you had a line of tick boxes, for instance, and you tick one off against each other regarding the capability of that piece, if they more or less measured up to everybody and equality on either side, would you still buy the brand or would you be convinced to buy a no-name replica, for instance? So the perception deception, are we perceiving something that's not real? Are we being pushed to perceive something that's not accurate by massive advertising campaigns? And we all know that Rolex are the masters of marketing. They maintain their place in timepiece history. They maintain their position in our belief that if you want to show that you have succeeded in life, you own a Rolex. So is it that? Is it that we're sold this perception? It'd be quite interesting to get your feedback on this. What would you do? Here's another question for you. If, the situation I maintained earlier, which is, if somebody bought out a Hulk replica, homage, whatever you want to call it, it was the same size, it was 904, they rebuilt the in-house movement piece for piece, the accuracy was the same, the BPH was the same, the clasp was the same, the colour was the same, or as close as any Pantone number could get it without infringing on the Pantone number that is registered with Rolex. The ceramic insert was the same. What would you do? What would you do? Because in effect you have exactly the same watch, except for those 5 very, very important little letters on the dial. And that is the same, I believe, through the whole gamut of timepiece manufacture. So what would you do? Is it, are we being bullied, as it were? Are we being pushed to perceive a set of circumstances that, if you open the wide-ranging possibilities of watch purchase, what are we buying? What are we actually buying? Are we buying what we're told we're buying? Or are we buying something which is replicated elsewhere for 1/10 of the price, maybe? Let me know what you think. Let me know whether you've come across this. Let me know whether you've actually seen a branded watch somewhere and you've seen something else. You think, hang on a minute, it's exactly the same. Now, I can actually attest to this because, as you know, I was looking at the IWC Portofino with a Value 7750 movement in it, and it was £11,800, and it was a lot of coin. And this was when I was looking at either that or the Hulk. I ended up buying the Hulk, of course, but now, since then, I've bought the Bulova Gemini, again with the 7750 movement in it. It is exactly the same shade of dial. It's the same setup of dial because it has to be. It has the day date and the 3, both quick set. It has the beautiful leather mock croc leather band. The only difference between the two watches, the Portofino and the one I bought, is that mine has a PVD case, gold case, and the other one is a solid gold case, hence the differential in price. So that is a prime example that I can equate to personally. So what are we doing here? Are we being told what to buy, and we're being given so-called facts to back that up? So let me know, the perception deception, is it true? Is it true? And are we constantly falling into a trap to justify what we're spending on watches? And are we spending that money on watches just to be in with the in crowd? Are we doing that to get affirmation of the purchases we make by everybody else out there in the watch community? Let me know what you think about that, the perception deception. That's it for now, people. I haven't checked my numbers today. I do apologise. I do notice very few more subscribers, so thank you very much indeed. If I haven't got back to you yet, I will do, I promise, as long as I can. If it's your first time here and you think this is quite interesting, tap on the subscribe button, which I think is down here somewhere. And do all the usual stuff. Give it a like, share it, all that kind of thing. And for now, I shall speak to you again soon. Bye bye.